What happens when we get discouraged with music? The wind falls out of our sails. We can get emotional or just frustrated or intellectually decide something isn't working. What do you do when things aren't working, when it's too hard? If we haven't met yet, I am EP Archer with Music Rebels Rising, and I help committed adults change their quality of life through music. And I'm so excited to talk about a touchy subject today because there's always a point where we hit a wall, where we hit a stop, where we feel stuck, we're struggling, and we have some choice at that point. We can get emotional about it. We can get frustrated. We can just stick into the grind and be in the rat race and over and over and over again. And sometimes even when we're doing that, it makes it worse. I remember my friends and I, as music majors in both undergraduate and graduate degrees, would make these noises when we play, right? You'd be walking past the practice room door and you hear these like guttural sounds just coming from people, just like down from deep. It's like, right, that sound of frustration. And what is your motivation, your inspiration, or your one thing that keeps you going when that happens? Because we can throw in the towel, or we can put down our instrument for a few minutes, or we can give up entirely. There's been things that have happened in my life that were so frustrating or so debilitating emotionally that I was like, that's it. I'm done with that. Right? But I could never quit music. I always had to come back because it's not just providing me an outlet or a hobby or something that feels good. It is providing me so many different layers. And if you're a person that music provides more than just music to, this episode is for you. So what is your biggest dream? Your one thing, your motivation? There's so many amazing ones to choose from, right? We've spent episodes talking about the health benefits, the oxidation, the raising of your vibration, creating positive ions, right? Relieving stress is a huge one, lowering cortisol. And the funny thing is, all of these health benefits and neuroplasticity benefits and brain benefits, they happen whether we're frustrated or not. So you're still getting the benefit, even if you don't feel like you're making progress in the way that you want to sound or what you're trying to express or the next level that you want to be. Maybe it's just a song that's tripping you up. But what is your bigger motivation? Is it the quality of your life? Is it having something that you can turn to as an outlet? I know for many of my adult students, there are just ways that they get to feel and time they get to take for themselves and something they get to share with their kids or their family that is them on a different level. You know, when you go see your uncle or your aunt or your mom or your dad at an open jam or playing guitar and singing around the campfire, or you know that this person is learning the violin and they share that with you, this is a different level of communication and more vulnerable and more open, and we're able to connect with people differently. And the cool thing is we can connect without words. We can play music with anyone else who sings or plays music, and it's a very different conversation, and that alone could be a motivating factor or a reason. You know, and whatever your big reason is, I encourage you to find it and go a step deeper. If there were no limitations, if there were no, financial, time-wise, bandwidth, all of that stuff, if there were no limitations, what would be the number one thing in music that you want to do, that you desire, that you're attracted to, that pulls you in? Is it writing your own music? Is it standing on a particular stage? Is it collaborating with a specific human or a specific group of people? Is it being in a certain environment or getting some sort of a degree or a certification? Is it teaching others or collaborating with others? What is that big dream that you have that's in the back of your mind that maybe you're not addressing? Maybe it feels a little too big, because I encourage you to find what that is and to write it down and say, what if? And then what would it take to do that? And there are steps that you can move towards that. I think the things that I really love and invest my time into, I feel like I'll never learn all of it before I die. And there's plenty of time left, right? But things that are art and historical and tied to tradition, but also creative and innovative. That's why I love Chinese Shaolin Kung Fu as my form of exercise or martial arts. That's why I love the yogic practices and meditation and music and learning languages and putting together things that are patterns and systems, but also evocative and that connect to a deeper part of myself and being able to connect with people differently. That's why I love astrology. It is a symbolic language and a way of us being able to connect and understand each other objectively instead of subjectively. And it's so fun to be able to interact that way, just like I can be at a jam session or a recording session or a gig with another musician, and it doesn't matter if we normally wouldn't hang out or get along in real life. There is a understood foundation where we can go somewhere together with music. And of course, my greater hope and bigger dream is that paves the way for other understandings and other connections and going farther in our lives. Because for me, music has never been just music. It's life, it's breath, it's connection, it's expression. It's the one place we don't have to be limited in any way. It's the one freedom that we can all grab onto. So when you get frustrated or something comes up for you, let's do a simple exercise. The next time you're practicing, the next time you pick up your instrument or you're singing or you're working on something and you get stuck, what are you going to do? Number one, take a deep breath, get centered in your body, figure out, is this a technical thing? Is it my technique? Is it the way that my body is assimilating or trying to do this that is keeping me? Is it an intellectual thing? A lot of times we struggle with a certain passage or something we're learning because we just simply don't know what it is or we don't understand it. It's like this really hard thing, and all the notes are skipping. Oh, wait a minute. That's an arpeggio, but the notes are out of order. Instead of it being C, E, G, it's E, G, C. Oh my gosh. Sometimes if we just do a little bit of analysis and find a pattern, find something that relates to something we already know, we can have a breakthrough intellectually. Is it an emotional thing? Has it been a hard day? And when something goes wrong with music, it's just like one more thing. Can we receive that just as data? Oh, okay, here's something I can work on. I either want to work on it now or I'm going to make a list to attack that tomorrow when I'm feeling a little bit better, right? And if it's an emotional thing, you can go to something that is a review, something you already know how to play or sing, something that feels good in your body, or something that has no requirement, right? Like putting on a track that is in the key of A major and simply playing the note A along with it and resonating and vibrating and singing into that feeling and then being like, okay, now let me move forward and see where to go from here. And perhaps it's just something that physically is demanding, whether you have to take a physical break or you have to find a new physical solution to approach the instrument or the voice in order to be able to do it. Like that high note you're trying to belt that's cracking, or that shifted note on the violin that you keep missing. There are foundational somatic resonance studies for your instrument or your voice that will give you not a shortcut, but an effective and efficient solution for that. And that's sometimes where expert advice, being in a community of people all doing the same thing, can be really helpful. So try those things the next time that you get stuck. And I want to leave you with a piece that's related to what we were talking about yesterday, your musical identity. Because no matter what you're stuck on, no matter what your bigger dream is and your biggest hope and goal, and no matter which of these limitations it might be, something technical, something physiological, something intellectual or understanding, no matter what it is, if you have this one thing, your musical identity, it fuels and frames all the rest. Think of somebody that's been a smoker all their life, right? And when they quit smoking and you offer them a cigarette, like really quit, right? What do they say when you offer them a cigarette? They say, no, thanks. I'm not a smoker, because they don't identify as that anymore. And when we shift our identity, that doesn't make sense. So I would love for you to make a choice to commit and to dive in to your musical identity. What if you could be a violinist, a guitarist, a musician? Which word feels good to you? A songwriter. Maybe you've only written one little melody in your head that you've heard kind of floating around in there. You've never written it down. You've never played it. You've never sang it. But your heart feels so happy. So just test out some words today. Musician, songwriter, violinist, violin player, or I play the violin. And let's see how we can make an identity shift. Because once you commit to being a musician, to being a violinist, no matter what level you are, you don't have to be advanced to have that identity. You don't have to be a professional gigging musician to have the identity of that. You just have to be someone who's committed. Do you do it every week? Do you do it regularly? Do you enjoy doing it? Do you look forward to it? Is it part of your life and part of who you are? If so, what if you committed to that identity? Because when you do, everything underneath falls into place. It's all going to feel and look different. And I cannot wait for you to feel that way and to start thinking that way. Even my youngest students, little kids, I try to help them have this shift because then they look at problems differently. They find solutions differently. They practice differently. They're accountable differently. And as adults, we have so much more capacity for that type of engagement and relationship with ourselves, with what we choose to do, and with our music. And if you're an adult violinist that is ready to jump in, to commit, to take the next step and not have to go it alone, we have a free Facebook group for you called Violin Unlocked, where you can start feeling like you're surrounded by people doing the same thing as you, getting that expert feedback. It's absolutely free. Pop in, just say hi or ask a specific question. I'm there every day. I can't wait to see you. Come and say hi because your best music is on the other side. And I'll see you there.